Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Build Study. This is take two, just a little look behind the velvet curtain. So I'm joined here by, I'm really happy to be joined by the founder of ArdaCraft and main admin Fornad.
Hello, welcome back.
Yes. So we're here at Build Study. We're going to look at Rivendell, right? That's going to be the idea. Just in case you didn't watch the other ArdaCraft things, ArdaCraft is a Conquest Reforged mod pack server where they are recreating Lord of the Rings. Please jump in and interrupt me if I'm wrong.
No, you're completely correct. Yeah, we're recreating the world of Lord of the Rings made by J.R.R. Tolkien. We're making the entire thing all based on the books. Every location he ever described, we're doing it because we're a bit insane.
And from what I understand, you're doing it really based on the books primarily, right?
That's correct, yeah. So we take some visual inspiration from the films, as you may notice today a little bit, but it's all based on the books and all the paintings that he drew and all the descriptions he gave. Is our primary source of inspiration. Yeah,
that's amazing. So where are we at? What? Maybe just a little bit of lore behind Rivendell because I don't remember much. I have seen the movies and I've read most of the books, but it's been quite some time since then.
Yeah, of course. So Rivendell itself, when we get there, it's a kind of an outpost of the elves. Not many elves live there, maybe about 100 elves live there. But it's an outpost of the elves located just to the west of the Misty Mountains in a very deep sheltered valley. And it was originally founded during a war that the elves had with Sauron, the Dark Lord, over 6,000 years ago, I think. I think I might be right. Or maybe 5,000 years ago. 5,000 years ago it was founded. And the elves have been living there since, obviously being immortal. And essentially, yeah, it's become a haven, a place of learning, a place of sanctuary for travelers. And it's known as the Hidden Valley because, as you shall see, it's quite hard to find. So I hope that we get to see as much as we can of it today, though it's very, very expansive.
I've done probably maybe 3 or 4 of these episodes, and I've just spent just hours walking around this amazing world that you guys have created. And like, the cities are amazing, the castles and forts and all that stuff. They're amazing. But I think my favorite thing is what we're doing right now. Like just walking down the paths and just seeing these custom landscapes and how every block is, put in a place for a reason. It's amazing.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's our main goal really is to make the world immersive and make it so that, wherever you walk in the world, in whatever direction it may be, you'll find something that's interesting, whether it's a ruin or, a forest, a stream, a waterfall, a mountain, whatever it is. So that's our primary goal. Now, we've just come to the Fort of Breen in here. That may not be a name that springs up in people's minds. But it is quite famous as a location where Frodo faced off against the Nazgul. In the movie, they have Arwen do it. So Arwen has got Frodo, and he's basically unconscious at this point, and she faces off, and the water comes down. In the book, Frodo gets given a horse by the elf Glorfindel. He rides ahead and turns around and basically faces off against the Nazgul himself, which makes him a bit more heroic. So yeah, this is the place, and then the water comes down the valley, obviously, and wipes them away. And that's quite a famous scene.
One thing while I'm looking at it here, just because, in case any ArdaCraft fans are coming over here and aren't used to my channel and what we're even doing, a lot of the reason why I first started coming over here is because I have a multiplayer server that is kind of like creating a world like this, but in vanilla and about a 16th or a 20th of the size. But I came here originally to look for inspiration on building, and boy, did I find it. But I'm even looking as a builder. This is the dumbest and simplest little thing, but I never would have thought of it. It's just like this rock and like this rock. I would never do that, but man, that's how rivers really look. It's not a smooth line of a river. This is just awesome. I love this so much.
Absolutely. And the other thing that people really get interested in here is, if you notice, the water isn't a full block. It's a half block.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how do you do that?
Yeah, that's just basically you basically we built this by setting a load of layers of wool, different types of wool going up the river, and then you set each one of them to be a slightly different layer of water, because obviously when water flows in Minecraft,
right,
it goes from high to low,
right,
and each of those states has a specific meta. So you just set each layer here to that specific meta, and if you have physics turned off, then it just stays like that. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very, very cool. That's very cool building. That's something that we cannot achieve in our world, but I think we can take parts of it away. Like water elevation changes, I think, is something that is really cool. Now, I think from what I've seen, your rivers actually flow, right? Like they actually go downhill.
That's correct. Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't obviously over long distances. It can just be straight, flat water that's not moving. But yeah, we try to make it so that, or we do make it so that every single river flows from high to low, and every single stream you see on this map will flow to a bigger river that will flow to a bigger river that will flow eventually to the ocean, right? Over thousands of blocks. So that's how expansive kind of the water system we have on here is.
That is absolutely amazing. That is an amazing amount of foresight. And now, are there maps? I assume that Tolkien made maps, and you guys are sort of basing this world off those.
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, he did some maps, and he did some fairly detailed maps, but obviously he didn't detail it so much to every single square meter that way. So there is some imagination involved.
Sure.
He drew the map of Middle Earth and he drew the major rivers on there, but we have to then think ourselves, well, it's not just those rivers. Obviously, there's going to be smaller ones feeding into them that he didn't draw. So that's what we've done. We've added a lot to his vision while kind of respecting everything that he did actually say about it.
This world is fantastic.
Yeah, we're walking now through the High Moors, they're called, kind of an area of heather moorland that stood kind of above Rivendell, and we're following, I don't know if you've noticed, this line of white rocks, and this is the only way to get to Rivendell. It's the only path that there is. There's no actual path that leads to the valley because it was meant to be hidden from Sauron.
And so that's actually in the books, and you guys have copied.
That's in the books. That's exactly, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome! You're inspiring me to go back and read those books.
Well, that's kind of one of our main things. Actually, is people come on here and they actually go back and read the books, or they read the books for the first time, because a lot of people have only ever seen films. And
sure, yeah.
Never kind of made that step. But when they come on here, they realize actually there's so much more to this world than they realized, and they get inspired. So we're coming up now to one of the coolest features of this region, which is kind of a big canyon, which we have. This whole area is made out of limestone.
Oh, yeah.
And so there's lots of canyons, caves, all kinds of things. We're just coming up to it now, so you'll see. We use this mist block we have to great effect.
Oh my goodness! How cool is that? Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, big fan of this area actually.
That's amazing.
A lot of it done by hand.
Wow.
And this area here, this is an area of limestone pavement, which you get in some areas. It's kind of a geological thing that happens to limestone. Yeah, and this was all done by hand. Obviously, there's no way to do this automatically or with any kind of tool.
So you have layers, like snow layers but limestone? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, you can see in the rocks. Yeah. And vertical slabs and all that kind of stuff. So yeah,
wow,
it allows for a lot of detail.
I can't believe with all these detail and everything that I'm still getting the frames I am. I'm still over 100 FPS. Not quite as much when I'm moving, but this is really extraordinary. Just the optimization.
It's really well coded.
Done. Yeah. I was with 113 coming out just the other day. I've noticed. We were just talking about on Discord. I've noticed some of the Hermitcraft members who I gotta assume have beefy computers. Even some of them are having some frame issues. So I wonder if there's some problems behind the scenes of the new update.
Yeah, I've heard that actually myself, and I think the Conquest Reforged team are kind of a little bit hesitant about updating until those things get fixed.
Right.
Obviously, because with a mod like this, if there's an issue with vanilla, it gets compounded by 10 times.
Yeah, right, exactly.
In this. So we're about to reach Rivendell itself. Kind of a roundabout route that it takes, but obviously for obvious reasons, they want to keep this valley as hidden as possible. But it's all worth it once you reach it.
Guys, look at this world. Look at this is one of my something I've always thought about my vanilla server. I've always thought if I ever could go back and start again, which I never plan to do ever again. don't worry, anyone who's watching Vasten videos. But if I ever did, I would probably want to start it with like a realistic terrain gen or something, and then go vanilla after that. Because this type of terrain you just can't achieve in vanilla, and it makes me sad because this is amazing.
I think there are some mods on there that generate terrain in a slightly more realistic fashion. I'm not sure
I mean, you guys painted this all with World Painter, I assume.
Yeah, this is all completely customized. There's no generation.
Now, do you add, is the world complete now? As far as, could I walk from one end to the other end?
No, so we add... So part of the building process is world painting, and so we add stuff as we go to the world. So, as we say we want to build an area, let's say Rohan. So we've actually added a section of Rohan onto the map now, which we're building in.
Gotcha.
But we're still working on the terrain. So because the terrain is just as much work,
Oh,
as
sure.
the building in some ways. So, it's all part of it.
I imagine you have people that are suited for one job more than others and things like that.
Yes. Yeah, well, people on the server will know that I'm suited to making terrain and not so much to building. I'm a terrible builder. So, yeah, it happens. Okay, so this is the valley.
Oh, my goodness. Look at this.
It'll load in bit by bit for you.
Look at this. Wow. I mean, this is amazing. This is really nuts. I just can't. I mean, I haven't even seen buildings yet. A couple loaded in, but just foresight as the word that just keeps coming back, just like to be able to plan this before you even, because, that's not the kind of builder I am. The kind of builder I start putting I generally have maybe an idea in my head, but then I just start putting blocks down, but you can't do that here. You would have to have a really firm image of exactly what you want because the terrain and all that is so grand.
Yeah, so what we did actually, I mean, to begin with, the guy who built this, Wheelie, kind of obsessed with Rivendell. And he made, I think, about 14 separate houses, the House of Elrond, before he settled on this design.
Wow.
Also, in terms of the shape and the design of the valley, Tolkien drew a picture of Rivendell, which we took, and then also we looked at his inspiration, which was the Valley of Lauterbrunnen in Switzerland, very famous alpine valley, which we looked at, and we designed the terrain and the cliffs based off that. So there's a lot of inspiration, a lot of thought, as you say, that goes into it before we even place a block. It's so much planning has to go into this. So this is the entrance to the main house. Wow,
this is nuts. I even see that waterfall up there on the edge. I don't know if you can see it if you're watching on a small device, but there's a little waterfall up there. Apparently, I don't have Optifine installed. I should have done that before we started recording because I can't zoom. But this is really. I mean, there's two waterfalls there. Man, that's so nice. Wow.
It's the waterfalls are all. We use that kind of mist block for the waterfalls because obviously when water falls over a long distance, it kind of turns into a sort of mist, doesn't it? So, that's all part of it.
That's a cool block.
Try and enter the house now, and
wow.
Yeah, instantly you can tell the Elven architecture here is full on.
So okay. Now, if you were to describe Elven architecture, this is not something that we have in my world yet. We have plans to build some Elven ruins in my world. But if you were to describe Elven architecture, would you say high ceilings, high arches is sort of the important parts?
That's part of it, yeah. The curves, the way that the build kind of flows. There has to be an organic nature, I think, to Elven architecture that you don't necessarily get in human or dwarven. There's a lot of, as you say, there's a lot of curves and organic shapes to it.
Right. Not exactly perfect for Minecraft.
No, exactly. And so you have to be imaginative, I think.
Oh, look, this is so beautiful. I mean, this looks like a painting. As a matter of fact,
it's one of my favorite runs.
This is nuts. This is so good. It's so good. Wow, man. I mean, I can't even. Those arches are so great. Now you're making me want to revive my Conquest series again because I can't do this stuff in vanilla. I want to, but I can't. This is so cool.
You can even sit in the chairs.
Oh yeah,
nice.
Oh that's cool.
Yeah, it's quite a fun little detail.
Ha! Not if I click wrong. How do you sit in the chairs?
You right click on the chair, and I should do it. I think anyway. Maybe guests can't do it.
I don't think I have permission.
Maybe there's a permission. Okay, well,
guests have to walk.
I can sit in the chairs.
Guests have to stand and walk.
Yeah. This is the Hall of Fire, kind of a place where they told stories and songs and that kind of thing. Quite a nice little room.
That's really cool.
And then we'll just make our way through the house. I mean, this house is vast. I mean, basically, when we made it, we were thinking, right, you need everything in this house because these people are so isolated. They would basically need to provide everything for themselves. So yeah, these are the stables.
So this whole kingdom, if you will, is just a house. It's just one house. There's not 100 houses.
Yeah. No, I mean it's not really a kingdom as such. It is literally just it's called the Last Homely House, and it's an outpost more accurately. I mean, there's a lot of people who live here, and there's a lot of space for guests, and this is just one of them, for example.
Oh, that's super nice. Wow, that's super nice.
But yeah, no, it is literally just the house, and the movie's kind of beefed it up a bit, and there's a few houses there, but Tolkien's idea was that it's just the one.
Wow. Oh, these are cool statues too. Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're nice, aren't they? Yeah. So out here at the back, you have all the gardens, and these are kind of where they grow their food and their crops. They'd go hunting as well.
Oh, that's cool. Look at the scale of this. You know, that's something that I talked about last episode, I think, with Germ, is how you got to think about like okay, there's people living here. I mean, okay, not real, but there would be people living here, so they have to eat. So you have to have gardens. They have to have, they're going to have horses. They have to have stables. They have to have all those. They have to have outhouses or whatever. You know, they have to have all these things instead of just houses that I think a lot of people's worlds are just houses. You know, they don't have like the infrastructure needed to survive in that world if it were real.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you go down into the cellars, I mean, this is where the real work is done. So this is a pantry. This whole area has all kinds of workshops in it. If you go down here, these are the baths. So they actually have a little underground area where they can bathe.
I recognize that block. I think we stole that for our pack. The tile, like the floor tile. That's
just
really
the
nice.
floor tile, yeah.
Oh, that's so good. I even like little small details, but the floor tile is 1 pixel higher or 2 pixels maybe higher than the side. So is this like, which one's raised? Oh, it's a tile. Yeah, the tile's raised.
It's the tile. Yeah, it's a tile. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so the whole area is just packed full of stuff. I mean, there's a blacksmith here, there's a potter, there's a carpenter, there's a tailor, everything. Because they would need to do all the work themselves, basically.
That is nuts. That's so odd.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys are watching Vasten, anyone on my channel, if you're watching Vasten, I have recently started working in the banking clan, which is in a way similar in style as far as well, not style, but as far as that it's one giant enormous building that needs to have everything in it. And there are so many things that I've already seen that I did not think about, but I didn't like they would need to have a blacksmith or 10 and tailors. Oh, this is so good. What a brilliant thought to have everything here.
So this is where the sword would have been reforged. I'm sure you remember in the films when they reforge Anduril.
Right.
Aragorn's sword. Yeah, this is where they would have done it. So if we just fly up here and come to quite a special location, I'm sure one you'll recognize.
Oh yes, where they tried to smash the ring in the movies.
Exactly. Yeah, where Gimli tries to break the ring in half. Yeah.
Did that really happen?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
No, it doesn't. Elrond just says, "No, we can't do that," and everyone believes him. So it's kind of it's a bit less.
Yeah. Oh, this is cool. So now this wasn't like the actual. I assume that the circle wasn't described in the books. I mean that down to that specific. So did you take this because this looks very similar to the movies?
Yeah, exactly. So this particular area, even though the valley and the house is very much based on the book, this particular area. You know, it looks so good in the films, and Tolkien never said, you know, this is specifically how it is. All he said is they come out of the back of the house, and you know, they get to the front porch area, the back porch, and it's here. And that's all he says, really. So, you know, when Tolkien doesn't give specific details, sometimes he will say, yeah, the movies did it well, and we can't think of a better way to do it, so we might as well. So,
do you feel like if there's any conflict, you always go with the books, but if there's not a conflict, then you use the movies for inspiration? Is that basically what you're?
Kind of, yeah. But sometimes if there's not a conflict, sometimes we'll find, you know, a particular piece of art online or whatever it may be, some other artist's depiction of the way thing could be, and then we use that instead. This is the library, not the library, sorry, the kind of museum area of Rivendell, you could almost call it.
That's so
and we really use our paintings to big effect, yeah. So there's like, this is where we use art that we find online, so we'll find really cool depictions of certain places and characters and bring them to life. So like this is the Eagle's Climb to Gondolin, I don't know if you can see that.
So you have...
That's Austin.
So you have paintings of the world in the world. That's like next level.
We have a couple of those actually, yeah. Not all the time. I mean, often we will just use, you know, actual arts because, you know, it's cool to use.
Yeah.
Right. But sometimes, yeah, I think there's one of Mythmond, I think, where it's like a depiction of that.
Oh, that's amazing. That's something that we had talked about a little bit. Pride Ceratops, I'm looking at you. We had talked about maybe painting pictures of things that are in Vasten and then making them the paintings, because that seems like that's the way it would be. You know, if you bought a painting, you might buy a painting of something that exists in the world, just like you really do in real life. These birds scare the crap out of me every time.
This is one of my favorite details. The little birdhouse they have here. It's great. I love it. It's like a tiny detail, but it's one of my favorite things.
That's very cool. Did you make that? Is that like 4 blocks? That's not a thing, right?
That is the wooden staircase block, which looks like this.
Oh, right. Oh, that works perfectly. Very cool.
Yeah,
huh.
This, if you come up here to the top level, there is the actual library up here. I can go through. So yeah, just detail everywhere, really. Yeah, but this is the library, which I really love. I mean, this is like what Rivendell is known for. It's being a place of learning and a place of memory. So they have everything here, all the histories and the lore and stuff. And Elrond was known as like a lore master, so he like knew everything about everything pretty much.
Oh, okay, cool. And he looks just like Agent Smith, so that's even just extra cool.
That helps too, yeah.
Oh no, I'm stuck.
The staircase. Oh no, yeah, that, yeah. The staircase leads up to the kind of central tower that you see coming in, which I quite like.
Let me make sure my brightness is up.
Bells.
Nope, it's not. Go halfway up. It's little YouTube makes everything darker.
So
this is cool.
Above you. Yeah, it's fun.
Okay, so why 3 bells? Is there significance there?
No, it's just that's what fit into space, I guess. I don't know.
No, it's super cool.
Yeah.
That's what I like to know. I like to know what you guys artistically decided and what comes from the lore. I find that to be just fascinating.
I think you should. Oh, maybe not. Maybe you can't climb up this. Oh, yeah, you can. Or maybe you have to fly a bit first, though. There is actually a way to get up that road.
That's really cool.
So this is a cool view here. You can go around. It's really nice. All the cliffs.
Wow. How high do those cliffs go? That's got to be close to build height.
That's close to build height, yeah. Because kind of our intention going into this was like to think, well, the house needs to be big because we need to fit all this stuff in it.
Yeah, right.
But we don't want the house to feel like it's bigger than the terrain. And we wanted to make the terrain feel much larger and make the house kind of feel small.
Wow.
So the only way to do that really was to use build height. So.
Wow, it's like I can barely render it. I'm up on top of the mountain. I can just barely even render.
It's
that's
enormous.
So crazy. Wow, man. Yeah, hey guys, we're not building one of these mountains. Just don't get your hopes up.
In survival, no, I wouldn't recommend it.
No. Wow, this is super cool. So how far away, if you're walking in minutes, I guess is the best way to think of it. How far away is this from the next like settlement or the next build or whatever you want to think of?
Depends what you define as a build or a settlement. So there's some villages, I guess would be inhabited villages, I guess would be a good description. Of the Rangers, and they live in the Angle, which is quite close to Rivendell, and it would take you maybe 20 minutes to walk to those. But like to get from the Shire to Rivendell, if you were walking along the Great East Road, I mean that takes people about 2 hours, I think.
2 hours on a road.
Yeah.
So you're not even like jumping over terrain, but on a real road it takes 2 hours. That scale is absurd. Wow. And what's amazing is like okay, so on Vasten, sure, you can walk for 2 hours, but that's all procedurally generated. This is 2 hours of actually everything where it's supposed to be. That's mind-numbing.
So just to give you another stat that'll probably blow your mind is, so you know the route that Frodo and Sam take when they walk from the Shire to Mordor. Like if you were to do all of that when the map is finished, including going through the Mines of Moria, you're looking at 8 or 9 hours.
8 or 9 hours.
Yeah, without stopping. Yeah.
Wow. Well, okay. I'll put out a promise right now that whenever you guys get all of that done, then I will do a live stream 8-hour walk from one end to the other.
That would be amazing.
I feel I may personally just jump in the volcano at the end.
Yeah, you may want to. Yeah, with that amount of playtime, your eyes will be burnt out.
Oh, this is even the staircase. It's so cool, so well done.
It's just showing you that with this valley. It's not just the house. I mean, the house is amazing, but
Yes.
there's details everywhere, and there's this cool little cave thing, stream.
I love this. I love this little thing. It's like, I love that it looks like, an entryway has been carved in. This is, this is my kind of thing. Whenever I do a lot of, world downloads and stuff, just check out people's like BWO and those guys, check out their worlds and just see what it's like. And I love when you happen upon something that wasn't in the videos. You just see, you're like, where'd this come from? Like this little nook, like you could live here, like literally live here for a long time and never find that staircase. That's really cool.
Exactly, yeah. And it provides an amazing view out onto the valley as well. Like you can see the house, you can see the stream. And
render a bit here. Take a look at it.
I don't know how much time we have left, but I could just quickly fly over to the mountains just to show you, because this obviously backs up against the Misty Mountains, just to show you those quickly.
Yeah, sure. Hold on, let me bump my render back down here. Are you gonna teleport me?
I will teleport you. Yeah, there's no point flying. But just to show you kind of how connected the world is, I'm going to fly about maybe 500 blocks away from where we were.
Okay. Yeah, my computer's not pleased with me trying about 23 chunks, so I'll bump it back down. So we're roughly 500 blocks away, so that's not terribly far.
Not super far, no. And these are the Misty Mountains at the beginning of the mountains. So yeah, really a really cool area. This.
Oh, the snow and everything up there. Wow. Oh, that looks great. That looks really great. What's the significance of the Misty Mountains again?
Well, they're a massive mountain range. They kind of stretch from really far to the north all the way down to Isengard to Rohan.
Is this where, like, the Fellowship of the Ring, they tried to take this pass? Is that what I'm thinking of?
They do try to cross the Misty Mountains, yeah, and then they get pushed back, but that's quite far to the south from here. This is right next to them.
Woo.
Yeah, they go south first. Yeah, this is the Glacier.
Do you guys
it's not entirely done.
Do you guys do this with hand? By hand?
The snow?
Yeah.
This is generated. No. God. That would be horrible. No, we don't. But yeah, no, this is the Glacier. This one isn't done, but I'll try to get you what it is. But yeah, we go to that extent to kind of recreate terrain in a very realistic way.
Wow.
I just told you. Here we go. So here's a finished glacier.
Oh my! Oh, that looks great. Oh, that looks so cool. So I was watching a Dukon video. This is probably quite old at this point, but talking about the layers of sediment and things. I think I referenced it in one of the other videos, but it was with, I think, Pride, maybe, who also, neither of us know what we're talking about exactly. You guys like talk to geologists? Is that what I'm remembering right about like getting things realistic?
That's correct. Yeah. Yes, we have a couple of geologists who we know we can contact and reach out to about stuff if we're not sure. In terms of this glacier area, actually, the guy leading this actually studied glaciology and geography at university for 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
So he knows what he's talking about. Yeah, so he did all this stuff.
Wow.
So.
Man, oh man. That is really nuts. That is so nuts.
So all the mountains are super realistic.
Well, I am blown away. I trust anyone watching this video is blown away. This is like, I mean, it's so cool to talk to you and get more insight rather than just me just kind of bumbling around and it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess this is a bird's nest. It's very cool and very helpful, and I can't thank you enough for showing me around. This is just crazy. This is just a crazy amount of creativity, time, commitment to do all this. I'm really really blown away. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on and looking around. I mean, every bit of promotion and every bit of help we get is fantastic. So thank you for that.
Well,
thank you for your kind words.
Well, listen, anyone who's watching this video, you can come on and look at this in person. These guys they're so cool. Literally every I hid chat because last time I didn't, and every time I've ever signed on this, and this is before I even did a single video showing around this place, but someone has been like, oh, hey guest who we don't even know, hey, how can we show you around? How can we help? I mean, I've never seen such a gracious, cool community. So, but you can do this. Go to, you want to give them the information?
Yeah, it's ArdaCraft.me. I'm sure you'll find it in the description. Just go to the mod pack tab and everything is explained from there. You can download our mod pack, our launcher. It's all easy to install, not hard at all, and then come on.
It's super easy. It's like one click, guys. It's like they have their own launcher. The whole thing. You put one click. You put in your Minecraft login stuff, and then boom, you're on. And like you're like me. You're like a guest. Like you can't ruin it. No matter how hard you try, you can't ruin it. Because I would ruin it definitely, accidentally, but I would definitely ruin it. So yeah, and you can just walk around, just walk this amazing world, and take that 8-hour walk with me.
Awesome. Well, thank you again.
Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next episode. Go check out ArdaCraft. It's super cool. Bye, everyone.